Now think for a moment, how many times have you seen yourself trying to decipher certain feminine behaviors that seem to escape immediate understanding, leading you to question what really goes into their minds with every enigmatic gesture or expression? Would it be possible that you have at some point in underestimating the influence of Stoic reflections to strengthen your attitude, develop more confidence, and achieve better financial conditions? Throughout these 20-9 points, we will bring psychological curiosities that involve female preferences, the importance of cultivating discipline and courage, as well as the way to balance sexuality and concrete goals. Do you usually wonder if there is any logic behind how many women react or position themselves, or tends to accept appearances without seeking the roots of these behaviors? One of the characteristics that many women appreciate is perseverance, accompanied by emotional balance. Have you ever wondered how much men who have mastery of their emotions and clear goals draw attention? According to names such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, internal solidity releases the individual from despair in the face of circumstances. Have you exercised any kind of daily practice or reflection to stay firm and consistent even in the face of adverse situations? 2. Social dynamics research indicates that coherence between what man says and what he does weighs a lot when forming a lasting impression. Do you talk too much and do it less, or really realize what you promise? Some women see contradiction as a factor of insecurity, as they cannot predict whether the individual will fulfill what they say. And not only in relationships, but in business, credibility is also built from attitudes aligned with words. 3. Another interesting point is the value that many women give men with long-term goals. When anyone knows what they want to achieve, project security and firmness. Do you consider yourself a person who outlines goals and fighting for them? Or does it only live to react to the demands of everyday life? What if this clarity of purpose could open new professional doors, even increasing its potential for financial growth? In the light of Stoicism, those who have a well-defined north tend to have more serenity in decisions. 4. It is worth mentioning the ability to perceive microexpressions. Many women capture signs of nervousness or distrust in the way of speaking, look, brief gestures, and even speech breaks. Have you ever analyzed how you behave in times of uncertainty? Do your internal questions become visible to those who watch you closely? Stoic philosophers emphasize the importance of keeping the mind well-trained, reducing internal conflicts that may reflect externally in an involuntary way. 5. Authentic modesty can also play a surprising role when arousing interest. It is not a matter of being passive or erased, but of demonstrating security without having to sport goods, power, or brute force. Some men resort to extravagant luxuries, thinking that this will attract immediately, but often receive only passing interest. Do you think building value from the inside out with self-control and future vision generates a deeper and more lasting admiration? What if this also helps maintain a balanced financial life? 6. There's a genuine power in showing real interest in dreams and female dilemmas. Not only listening to listening, but truly understanding what moves that person. Do you devote time to understanding the stories of those around you? Or do you prefer to talk only about your achievements? Understanding nuances and offering pertinent comments can create strong connections that turn into partnerships, nominations, and even contracts. Have you ever imagined that this same sensitivity can be reflected in valuable professional opportunities? 7. The issue of balance in various areas, health, family, career, leisure, stands out. Have you managed all these sectors in an organized way, or feel that you are always sacrificing one aspect for another? Ancient philosophers advocated the relevance of a harmonic routine, as excess at any point usually generates problems in the future. Maintaining body and mind in good condition, seeking constant learning, and cultivating solid relationships can raise both your personal standard and prosperity possibilities. 8. Patience acts as a virtue of attraction. Many men act on impulsiveness, exploding to the slightest provocation. Do you see yourself nervous about setbacks or practices the attentive calm, trying to see the root of conflicts before reacting. Controlling automatic responses prevents hurt, increases respect, and also prevents hasty decisions in the financial sphere, as haste leads to bad agreements. Is it time to understand patience not as weakness, but as a sign of emotional intelligence and strength? 9. There are reports that women, in various contexts, test attitudes and answers to understand if man is really safe of himself. These situations can emerge as ironic comments, delays, or unusual questions. How do you react when you feel that you're being tested? Explodes and leave for the offense, or keeps tranquility and shows solidity? This firmness can impact the way you deal with pressure on personal negotiations, projects, and goals. 10. Returning to the theme finance. Many women look not only as the man earns, but how he spends or invests. If someone exudes without planning, it may seem irresponsible. On the other hand, it is managed with wisdom. Even modest resources conveys a sense of stability. Do you do some kind of spending control or study investments to make the most of what you earn? This can be a differential in both your personal image and long-term growth. 11. Open and receptive communication offers a sense of comfort that often becomes confidence. Do you usually cut the other person's lines, wanting to impose your vision, or prefer to maintain a bilateral and respectful dialogue? With the proper ability to listen, it is possible to learn a lot about who is ahead of us, perceive opportunities, and even form profit. Have you ever wondered if your ability to listen could generate advantages in the corporate environment? 12. The organization in everyday life is another element that draws attention. Some men live in chaotic environments that seem to reflect a disordered mind. A minimally tidy place and basic planning convey discipline and responsibility. Even if it seems a small detail, this can influence female perception and also the way co-workers or partners see their reliability. Have you given proper importance to order as a sign of commitment? 13. Emotional intelligence manifests itself in understanding their own emotions and emotions, avoiding exaggerated reactions, and providing peaceful interactions. Do you identify what you feel before you get offering irritation or anxiety about others? Often a break to analyze the source of the discomfort. In a Stoic optics, learning to observe internally reduces conflicts and improves the ability to reason under pressure. It is a professional or loving partner who remains balanced tends to inspire respect. 14. With regard to honesty, there is no doubt that authentic speeches are perceived and valued. Do you try to pretend to be something that is not, believing it will impress? The point is that pretense has a short duration limit. By investing in truth, even if it is not always pleasant, it is possible to build a trust base that extends to commercial contracts, friendships, and effective relationships. 15. The way you see yourself also makes a difference. Well, built self-esteem arises from internal victories, the sense of accomplishment, and the alignment with principles. Do you take care of yourself, recognizing your progress, or do you live and depreciate yourself? A person who carries certainty of his value tends to exhale confidence, which attracts more growth opportunities. Ancients stressed that the individual should never judge himself for what he does not control, but for his virtues and efforts. 16. Adapting to changes is another central point. Life does not follow script, and those who cannot shape new scenarios are usually far behind. Do you deal well with unforeseen events, seeking practical solutions, or despairs when something goes out of plan? This flexibility is welcomed by many women who value a man who can efficiently circumvent problems. And at work, this same capacity often yields advantageous promotions or businesses. 17. A touch of lightness and good mood in moments timely reveals confidence and opens doors for pleasant interactions. There are people who can't smile from themselves, taking everything to iron and fire. Do you believe that laughing at a situation or momentary failure can demonstrate inner strength? This moderate laugh often relieves tensions, including negotiations, bringing people closer and favoring constructive agreements. 18. The attitude of care and genuine attention is also an important factor. It is not enough to say that it is concerned, it is essential to act consistently, helping when necessary and showing empathy in practice. Have you reflected if, at times when someone needed help, you volunteered or retreated? This behavior not only raises respect for your return, but you can generate deeper connections and beneficial trust bonds in both effective and professional scope. 19. Female intuitive perception is usually remarkable. Some women identify dissimulation or second intentions quickly, even if the man tries to hide. Do you cultivate frankness, or do you think that make up the truth is a good shortcut? Credibility, whether in relationships or business, is based on consistent development of integrity. 20. Independence, not only financial, but thought, is another trait that arouses curiosity. Someone who defines priorities, explores his passions, and does not be hostage to the opinion of others usually stand out. Do you trace your way or follow imposed standards without question? In the business environment, the ability to have its own ideas and take calculated risks often bring positive returns and credibility. 21. The balance between reason and emotion deserves attention. Certain people are purely logical, others are carried away by sensations. Finding an intermediate measure, where you're not too cold or overly emotional, can captivate as it demonstrates maturity. Can you make rational decisions taking into account also the effective context? If so, you'll be ready for more empathic negotiations and healthier effective relationships. 22. Constant progress indicates healthy ambition. It does not mean living in an infinite marathon of goals, but to take a gradual steps of growth. Do you study something new? Is it interested in various subjects, trying to improve small habits? Women often realize when man does not settle and seek evolution. This may be reflected in promotions, invitations to interesting projects, and prestige. 23. Receiving and giving feedback is another relevant practice. Someone who closes criticism often repeats mistakes, while those who hear suggestions and fit grow faster. Do you feel comfortable receiving advice, or usually take everything to the personal side? And do you know how to offer constructive criticism to those who need, without offense? Humility to recognize failures and correct them marks positive points in all areas of life. 24. Self-denial is disadvantageous. Some men focus so much on wanting status or money that they do not care about health, hygiene, or mental well-being. Have you ever thought that this can convey an image of neglect of yourself? What if anyone doesn't take care of themselves? How can someone or a team at work? Stoicism does not defend unnecessary luxury, but moderate attention to body and mind. 25. The ability to bring content to dialogues also draws attention. It does not mean to play the wise, but to demonstrate knowledge of the world, curiosity, and willingness to learn. Do you read, search, or participate in exciting discussions that expand your mind? This differential impresses at various levels, as it reveals experience and repertoire, useful both when talking and when proposing innovations. 26. Many fear challenges for not knowing how to deal with failure. However, the dosed awareness of the risks is seen as fascinating. Do you face obstacles head-on or prefer to dodge, letting opportunities pass? Based on Stoic precepts, recognizing what can be controlled and act with determination increases the chance of success on various fronts, bringing more respect and also financial returns. 27. Assuming responsibility for their own mistakes is an unmistakable sign of maturity. Instead of blaming the universe, admitting failures and correcting them demonstrates strength of character. Do you usually look for justifications when something goes wrong, or examines what could have done better? Many women interpret this posture as an indication of reliability, and this reliability also extending to professional partnerships. 28. The incentive you offer to those around can have remarkable effects. When you realize that you hope for their success, there's a bond of cooperation and gratitude. Have you considered whether your tendency is to criticize and decrease, or encourage and support the plans of others? Great leaders not only command, but inspire others to grow. This type of conduct also fosters an environment conducive to collective gains. 29. To close, The coherence between what is promised and what is fulfilled is essential. Many create expectations and do not deliver, generating frustrations that affect relationships and reputation. Do you usually honor schedules, deadlines, commitments? Stoic philosophers have always emphasized that the committed word must have sacred value. And when people realize that they can count on you, invitations and businesses that tend to improve your financial life arise. These 20-9 facts bring together perceptions about female behavior, male maturity, and secular principles of personal overcoming, with the potential to impact both relationships and prosperity. What will you do with all this knowledge? Just stay in theory or really seek concrete changes in everyday life? Sometimes a small habit modification is enough to unlock new achievements. And if you apply these concepts, adjusting attitudes that previously went unnoticed, you will not only be able to establish stronger bonds, but also expand your possibilities in terms of income and general well-being. Have you ever wondered how your life can take a prosperous and balanced course when discipline, self-confidence, and empathy go together? Leaving a comment here, exposing your opinions and discoveries, it can be the first step in ratifying each insight internally. What if this simple gesture of participation already represents a commitment to its own evolution? By aligning temperance and boldness, you walk a solid path to significant achievements. Perhaps you can get that desired promotion, attract interesting partnerships, gain greater internal harmony, and even arouse more interest from the people around you as they notice firmness and consistency. So, are you prepared to act so that your routine becomes a true reflection of these Stoic principles applied to practical life? It is in this scenario that the sum between constancy and financial planning makes all the difference, eliminating unnecessary debts and creating investment margins. After all, there is nothing more attractive than an individual who keeps a word, embraces responsibilities, takes care of body and mind, manages money well, and demonstrates self-knowledge. This set of factors is powerful in both negotiations and effective life, making it clear that you stand out in a world full of superficialities. With each passing day, by cultivating discipline, genuine attention, and coherent actions, you reinforce a striking identity, capable of capturing respect in different areas. So, how about just thinking and starting small daily transformations, replacing impulses with strategies, taking priority and persisting even when stumbling over? If the desire to change is sincere, remember that even the big buildings begin with small steps. Ultimately, this journey goes far beyond gaining female approval or ensuring good profits. It is a process of evolution that perfects its character and can yield fruits in all sectors. So don't stand still. Apply what has assimilated, test hypotheses, observe results, and maintain what works. By investing in your own mental fortress and concrete actions, you tend to surprise both women around you and potential business partners, as you will realize something rare: the junction of self-control, integrity, long-term vision, and readiness to listen and grow. And this differential does not go unnoticed in a universe full of people who are content to repeat old mistakes. So, it remains to be asked, will you keep reproducing patterns that do not take anywhere or ready to become the best version of yourself? Write here your reflections and, especially, turn them into attitudes that signal this new phase, where the inner strength, empathy, and the search for clear goals make room for a much more expansive reality. After all, evolving is a daily choice, and every insight we put into practice helps build a solid structure, supported by principles that resist time and challenges. Whether in the sphere of emotions, relationships, or financial growth, the fruits of stoic and conscious conduct can be harvested from now on. Are you ready to take this step?